day of the Dakar 2001 sees a massive loss of time for number 1, Richard Sankt. However, even worse news for number 2 BMW rider, Juan Roma. He's fallen out of the event and very nearly indeed broke his leg. He is out. Whilst in the cars, the overall leader, Jose Maria Servia, has lost a whole bag of time. Yesterday's looping stage from El Halawaya back round to the same venue caused a whole bunch of problems for all sorts of people, particularly through this spectacular valley that really does encapsulate the Dakar spirit of things. Britain's John Deacon threading a way through somehow the rocks. However, some other people didn't have such good a luck. Being absolutely pushed to its limit and sometimes beyond. Nani Roma coming out the other side, guns are blazing, but he was pushing the bike to the limit. If you thought it was difficult on a motorcycle, what about on a quad or even in a car? Yesterday, the motorcycles were faster than the cars, including having to stop to refuel numerous times. However, terrible luck for truck number 426. The Kamaz broke the upright there, and the driver Kabirov, the former multiple stage winner, was airlifted out with some small injuries, but the team is out. He says here that we arrived too fast over this one particular dune that we didn't see. We flew over it and then we broke it when we landed very, very hard indeed. So then, the stage from Halawaya down to Attar, stage of 435 kilometres with a very short road section of just 5 kilometres. That's 3 miles before they have a couple of nights in the same venue at least. Rest day is tomorrow. Second rotation of flying mechanics as well. And no time to do much sightseeing this morning as the sun rose over the dunes for day 10, stage 10 of the Dakar 2001. The motorcycles first off as always. And just look at it. A picture says 1,000 words, and even the top 3 were getting stuck out there, sinking just like quicksand. Jordi Arcaron's getting stuck, but eventually getting it rolling and up and moving. The dust, a big problem today, causing some people's machines to run a little rich as the air filters had completely blocked up with dust, therefore strangling the engine. Juan Roma, 6 kilometres into today's 435 kilometre stage, had a relatively slow accident when the front wheel just went into a hole and Nani went over the top and the bike clipped him when he landed on the floor.
He
said that the front wheel just went in, I went over the top and the bike just clipped me
iba a 20 metros
on the way down.
y en un instante
Only a
ha ido mucho
small,
polvo.
low-speed accident of around
Había un agujero
40
que no
kilometers
iba muy
an
deprisa,
hour.
pero no he visto nada y
out of the rally.
entre el polvo pues he encontrado un agujero.
¿Te duele la pierna?
Sí, me duele mucho la pierna y no sé si hay algo roto o... Bueno, pero es más... Me duele más la moral que la pierna, ¿sabes?
Roma helicoptered out, and the machine looking very forlorn indeed, but no such luck for Richard Sankt, who was also out.
Tout allait bien, je dirais, et malheureusement...
I'm not very lucky because this engine was due to be changed
Il a lâché d'un coup.
tomorrow on the rest day at Attar.
C'est vraiment dommage parce qu'on arrivait à la
This
journée de
is
repos.
this is the first engine problem
La journée où on devait changer le
that our
moteur.
team
Le moteur
has
était à
had
moitié du rallye.
on this rally.
Sur les 7 motos en course, il n'y en a aucun qui a cassé et malheureusement, il y en a qui cassent.
And
et
it's
le
very
mien, à 5
unfortunate
kilomètres de
that it
l'arrivée.
happened to me.
Je dirais c'est comme ça quoi. Hein, je veux dire, il faut faire avec.
Well, therefore, the other runners had to just compete away into the distance, but victorious today was South African hero Alfie Cox on his number 9 KTM. He was absolutely loving it, and even having time to turn the roebuck when on some of the quick sections. Cox victorious eventually by just under a minute ahead of KTM teammate Jordi Arcaron. Cox saying that once through the rocky section and it was so quick, he's saying it was just like a road race, absolutely flat out. He really enjoyed it. He was grinning like a Cheshire cat once he had returned to the finish of the stage at Attar. So Cox quickest, Arcaron's second today, and third was Italy's Fabrizio Mioni. Not an easy day for him after his shoulder began to hurt a couple of days ago. Today it was okay. However, he only filled the front tanks this morning, and that made the front end a little front heavy rather than balancing it out by filling the rears. Mioni falling there momentarily. And he indeed warned Nanni Roma not to overdo it only a couple of days ago because Roma was going so caution to the wind on his heavier BMW. Kari Tiernan, he was on the scene when Roma fell early this morning, and indeed Tiernan and Depre lifted Roma out of the immediate danger of any following riders. Esteve Pujol, he was fifth behind fourth place Kari Tiernan from Finland. Pujol making it a top 5 clean sweep for the KTMs on the Dakar today. Well, what of the BMW challenge towards KTM? The answer is it was left to John Deacon today. The Brit was saying, well, he was just happy to arrive at Attar. Previous couple of times that he has arrived here. Once he has been in an ambulance, and once he has been not too well because of a crash. Just happy to be here in one piece. So Deacon, the leading BMW today, in 6th place. 7th today, Carlos Dugavado on his KTM. Dugavado here suffering with a puncture as Giovanni Sala comes up alongside him. Sala stopping, and the pair of them changing the rear wheel for that of Dugavado. So Dugavado getting the good wheel. And you can see Kari Tiernan just arriving on the left-hand side of the screen there at the back. All hands on deck for KTM. So Dugavado 7th, including that puncture. And PG Lundmark on his production machine, 8th today. The Swede, of course, so hamstrung overall after the chain and gearbox problems he had a couple of days ago. Francois Flick, 9th position for him, and leading the amateur section. Overall, sponsored by Yako. The results then, victorious South African Alfie Cox, a minute ahead of Spaniard Arcarons, Italy's Mioni, Finland's Tiernan, and Spain's Esteve Pujol. Overall, Mioni now leads from Arcarons, De Gavado, Esteve Puyol, Cox now 5th. Here, Fabrizio Mioni, he says it was a very hard stage with a lot of soft sand. We went together with Alfie and Geordie, and I stopped a couple of times with Alfie, who helped me pick up the bike. In the past, before the second control point, I went with the riders ahead and then raced well, and it's important to be safe and well positioned before the rest day. This year, my target is to get to Dakar, but the race is very, very long indeed.
Today was the real Dakar. I mean, we've had very big dunes, soft sand. It's been a very difficult day, and the other days have not been difficult at all, and today was really a very difficult day for the Dakar. So I think many riders are going to have problems today, and you know, my job was to stay with Geordie and Fabrizio to look for them, and we've pushed each other the whole way, and we've done a good time today, and maybe the time is going to change. Who's the leader? And Fabrizio could have a chance if Richard Saint doesn't come quickly. It's been a very good day. I've enjoyed it.
You know, for Nani Roma is breaking his leg.
Nani Roma broke his leg. Oh, that is too sad. Oh. Okay, that's not so good.
Ja, nu kommer jag från sjukhustältet där jag har tillbringat min nattdag efter att jag kraschade igår.
Here we have number 99. She says, I'm slowly getting out of the medical tent because I crashed yesterday after I went into a big hole and I went over the top. I've hurt my shoulder ligaments and now it's finished for me.
Det var helt enkelt slut för mig.
Now, she has a couple of possibilities to get her bike back off the stage. And Maria Sandell telling us here.
Everything is under control.
And asking...
They haven't stolen my bike.
No one's run off with her machine. Now, there's a couple of possibilities available for Maria. She has the bike being picked up by the broom wagon at the back of the field, and then it'll have a couple of chances to get back to Paris. Maybe out of Attar if there's any space on a plane, otherwise it'll go a bit further down the route and get back then. When we move over to the trucks, well, they have a slightly harder route to pick their way through the rocks and everything. Sometimes the big rocks even beat the trucks. Service crew there realizing that there was just no way to hold hands with the Kangoo of Luc Alphonse. Time for a family album snap. Because we came down here, down this short valley, but there's just no way back.
Avec ce projecteur de là, il n'a pas vu que ça finissait par petite marche. Même avec Kerak, c'est une marche de 8 mètres, on la descend pas. Donc là maintenant, on va le tourner. Et puis on va lui faire remonter la pente pour le remettre dans la vallée.
Il avance jusqu'à là. Une fois qu'il est tanké là, il recule jusqu'au fond. Et après, on fout les plaques dans les traces.
Now, of course, this is a service truck, so it's imperative that the service truck gets back to the bivouac at the end of the day in order to service Servia, Schlesser, and what was Alphonse. Alphonse now way down the order. The sand is so soft here. No moisture to hold it together in any shape or form. And this is a very slow process, even with six-wheel drive. And if you get a puncture in one of these vehicles, things can get very difficult indeed. The tire pressure's reduced to nearly next to nothing to try and maximise the footprint for the Schlesser Aventures crew to get the truck out. Luc Alphon mucking in.
J'ai un petit problème de fuite à mon réservoir additionnel.
Here we have Francois Couval repairing his bike. He says, I've had a very small leak in my fuel tank, which I've tried to repair here, but in Africa it's not so easy to weld aluminium. But someone has advised me to use this bar of soap. So, well, I'm going to have a go. He takes us over to the bike and he says, please excuse my hands, I haven't had a chance to wash them for days. Francois running in the Yakko amateur class. We have to be a lot more resourceful on these rallies than normal. But I have never heard of this method if all else has failed. He goes off into the distance out of the bivouac just for a small, short test ride and returns to his service area. Happy that it's not leaking. He said it's okay, and it seems to be good. So now I will get a good night's sleep before I have to do it all over again tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Here's the first drama of the day with the cars. The overall overnight leader, Spaniard Jose Maria Servia in number 202, the Schlesser buggy, absolutely helpless once he went over the crest of this particular dune. And initial reports said that he had lost only 25 minutes, but in the end the time just ticked and ticked away as he struggled to get the machine out of the dunes. In the end, he lost 2 hours and 13 minutes to the overall winner of today's stage in the cars. Servia stuck on the dune, as you can see, and the amount of sand that you have to remove to get the car rolling is quite enormous. He says we're stuck on the top here, and the chassis is beached, and there's nothing we can do. We're just trying. See the air jack just sinking into the sand. Now the tow rope being attached and just waiting for somebody to come and pull them out. Not a good day once more, unfortunately, for Jean-Pierre Fontenay, the Frenchman. He said that the right front had lost all the wheel nuts and they were going progressively loose. But we did about 100 kilometers. The drive shaft has come out now. We're just trying to get it all back together. Grégoire de Mavius speeding past. Remember that Fontenay had a half roll yesterday when his Mitsubishi rolled onto its side. So overall, in today's 435 kilometer stage, the winner was eventually Hiroshi Masuoka with his four-wheel drive, but very short wheelbase Mitsubishi Pajero. Masuoka said that he had a very good day, and he's very happy indeed. Got through everything without any trouble at all, even though the Mitsubishis do not have the tyre deflating and inflating system that they can use whilst they're rolling. Second today was Jean-Louis Schlesser in his two-wheel drive buggy. He was 9 minutes and 38 seconds back of Mashioka. He went okay, even though he had this puncture. He lost a bit of time after having to go round many of the rocks, some of them more than a metre in diameter. It was really harder than he thought. By far the hardest stage of the rally so far. However, he didn't get lost, even though at times he was finding it difficult to get over some of the passes. Carlos Souza, fourth today behind Jutta Kleinschmidt, who was third. Souza saying he doesn't know why he damaged the front bumper. Here we are with Thierry Delaverne. Delaverne sixth on the stage today after Stefan Enrad. Here he's saying that we are jumping a lot this morning. I don't know if we're going to be okay with the road book, but we might have to stop in 200 meters. 200 meters, says the co-driver. 100 meters. Okay, it's here. He goes right. Yeah, this is good. This is the right way. Remember that these drivers, they have to go to the separate control points to get their time card stamped. So Delaverne sixth on the stage today. However, just ahead of him was Stefan Herrard in the Volkswagen buggy. Bruno Sabi. He was seventh on the stage today, but Sabi ninth overall. And here is Stefan Pederhansel. Pederhansel in control in his Nissan, and all Nissans still in the rally that have started. Stefan Pederhansel leading T1.
Essayez de pas trop braquer sur la gauche, hein. Ah, plutôt un petit peu droit. Ouais, mais pas trop.
Here we are speaking with Magnaldi, who's second in the marathon class. The co-driver saying not too much on the left, keep on the right. Okay. Oh.
Regarde où on peut reculer. Attends, je sors.
We're stuck in the sand now.
Teste un peu le sable, François, pour voir.
Try it, says the driver to the co-driver. The co-driver running ahead, and this is, as you can see, one of the Ford buggies that's gone way over the top. And the driver saying we stopped. Eric Vigouroux saying we got stuck in the sand and the car went onto its side. But here the truck is helping us, and it's pulled us back onto our wheels. That's a big accident for the Ford to go over there. And that thing certainly did come down with snow on it. Japan's Hiroshi Mashioka leading the stage today from Schlesser by nearly 10 minutes. Jutta Kleinschmidt victorious yesterday, third today, Souza and Henrad. Mashioka leads overall by 45 minutes ahead of Jutta Kleinschmidt. Schlesser another 10 minutes back, Souza and Serbia.
Today was very difficult and very long big dunes. So Schlesser is stuck in the dune. so we are through the right side. But our car is just so very difficult today.
Ja, also das war heute schon eine
Mashoka happy. Jutta Kleinschmidt here saying that it was very difficult and many people will arrive very, very late this evening into the bivouac. But we did well, and we're happy for Hiroshi Mashoka because he did a good, safe drive today. This morning it was slow, but that's because we didn't have enough tyre pressures. We had a problem with our back rear suspension because of that. But after the dunes, I had a puncture, but otherwise, everything has been okay for us today.
Und dann ist das Auto wie ein Känguru gesprungen und dann haben wir also herausgefunden, mit mehr Luft springt es dann doch sehr viel besser und dann lief es eigentlich auch sehr gut für uns. Einen Blattfuß hatten wir noch, aber ich meine, das ist für so einen Tag wie heute eigentlich kein Problem.
A welcome day tomorrow for all of the competitors on the Dakar, a rest day at Attar, and a rotation for the second time of the airborne mechanics that have flown in from Europe. However, it won't be much of a rest day for many people as they work on their motorcycles, work on their cars and work on their trucks and try and recoup some energy under the searing heat of the desert.